Have you ever wondered why the meals that once gave you energy now seem to drain you as you age? This isn't just your imagination, and it's not bad luck or poor genetics. After more than 70 years of caring for older patients, I've seen a universal truth. After 60, food stops being just fuel. It becomes your body's set of instructions, determining whether you rebuild or decline, whether you stay steady or slip toward frailty. In America, I've met countless men and women who believe their future is written in their genes. But in reality, the daily choices on your plate often hold far more power than what you inherited from your parents. Many of my patients were strong, active people their whole lives until, suddenly, in their 70s, something shifted. The breakfast that used to give them clarity now left them sluggish. Lunches that once meant comfort became followed by aches, forgetfulness, or a sense of being out of balance. Some quietly withdrew from friends and activities, haunted by a sense that old age meant decline was inevitable. What so many overlook is that, after 60, the body becomes profoundly sensitive to what you put in it. Some foods, even ones sold as healthy, can fuel silent inflammation, disrupt your metabolism, and quietly sap your resilience. Others, often overlooked or forgotten, can do the opposite. They trigger, repair, restore memory, and rebuild bone and muscle. Sadly, as our society has grown busier, so many Americans have traded these healing foods for processed meals, packaged snacks, or quick fixes that promise convenience but strip away vitality. The most critical question isn't whether you eat a little or a load, it's whether you eat smart. Are you choosing foods that help you recover, stay sharp, move confidently, and enjoy restful sleep? For most, the answer is sometimes. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Don't let the noise of advertising or the flood of new diet trends distract you from what truly matters. I tell every patient, your body hasn't stopped listening, even in your 70s or 80s. You can still change one wise decision at a time, one meal at a time. Everything I'll share in the following parts comes from decades of experience, not just textbooks. I've watched thousands of American seniors regain strength, hope, and connection simply by returning to a handful of traditional foods and habits. The same principles that let Japanese centenarians walk, cook, and laugh well into their hundreds are available to you, right here, right now. If you give your body the right signals, you'll see age isn't a sentence, it's another chance. And that chance can start today on your plate. In a world flooded with conflicting advice, it's easy for older adults to feel lost. One week, everyone's talking about high-protein diets. The next, it's low-carb, superfoods, or the latest miracle supplement. But after decades with real POP, not just research papers, I've learned that the real magic lies not in novelty, but in timeless wisdom. Foods proven by generations, supported by modern science, and overlooked far too often. Have you ever noticed that the longest-lived people, whether in Japan, California, or the Midwest, share certain food rituals? What I've seen over and over among the healthiest, happiest elders is a return to foods their parents and grandparents trusted. Not because of trends or marketing, but because these foods work. Across thousands of stories and medical charts, 7 foods stand out. Not all are right for everyone, and not all must be eaten daily. But each one plays a powerful role in restoring what age tries to take away. First, let's talk about fermented beans, most famously, natto. It's sticky, stringy, and yes, an acquired taste. But it is one of the richest sources of vitamin K2 on Earth, helping drive calcium into your bones and away from your arteries, cutting the risk of fractures and heart disease as you age. For American seniors used to hearing about calcium and vitamin D, K2 is the missing piece, the switch that keeps bones strong and blood vessels flexible. Even just a spoonful of natto a few times a week can make a real difference, and you don't need to move to Japan to benefit. Fermented soy is found in American health stores and Asian markets, ready to help you reclaim mobility. Second, seeds, especially sesame. Whether in the form of seeds, paste, or oil, sesame is an ancient food still prized in hospitals and elder homes from New York to Los Angeles. What makes sesame so special? It's full of plant lignans, compounds that balance hormones, lower inflammation, and improve cholesterol. Black sesame, in particular, is loaded with antioxidants that protect the brain, helping to slow age-related memory loss. My American patients who try a spoonful of tahini in their breakfast or a drizzle of sesame oil at dinner often notice smoother joints, better mood, and clearer thinking sometimes in just a few weeks. Have you ever thought of pumpkin as medicine? Most people think of it as a fall decoration, but pumpkin is packed with beta-carotene for your eyes and immune system, and even more crucial for seniors, supports the mucosal lining, the gut, lungs, even the bladder where so many infections and inflammations begin. The seeds are rich in magnesium and zinc, vital for sleep and hormone balance. I recall one patient in Ohio who, after adding pumpkin soup to her dinners, found her nighttime cough and dry skin fading away, and her digestion steadily improving. Fish is next, but not just any fish. Mackerel, a staple in the diets of centenarians from Okinawa to Florida, offers powerful omega-3s, coenzyme Q10, and vitamin D, all of which fight inflammation, build energy, and keep joints moving. Unlike larger fish like tuna, mackerel is low in mercury and packed with the nutrients your body craves after 60. Patients who swap out canned tuna for grilled or simmered mackerel report feeling more energetic, steadier on their feet, and less prone to swelling or falls. And what about those little foods that rarely make headlines, but quietly transform lives? Fermented plums, or umeboshi, are extremely tart but prized for their ability to ease digestion, support the liver, and help the gut recover after stress or illness. Even a small bite in the morning can reset your energy, improve circulation, and prevent the morning crash so many seniors dread. The power is in the ritual consistency, not quantity. Let's not forget miso fermented soybean paste, often found in soups but far more than a side dish. Unpasteurized, traditional miso teams with probiotics, minerals, and amino acids that lower blood pressure, support gut health, and even steady the mood. Regular miso eaters tend to be calmer, more resilient, and less likely to struggle with metabolic or cognitive decline. Swapping cold breakfasts for warm miso soup has changed many of my patients' lives not just physically, but emotionally, returning a sense of calm and readiness to each day. Finally, barley. Not as glamorous as quinoa, but it may be the grain most overlooked by Americans over 60. Barley's soluble fiber slows digestion, keeps blood sugar stable, and prevents those dangerous energy crashes that can lead to fatigue or even falls. I've seen patients who replace half their white rice with barley experience steadier energy, fewer dizzy spells, and improved digestion in just a matter of weeks. These aren't miracle cures, but together, they create a foundation, steady, reliable, and proven by both science and centuries of tradition. When you bring even one of these foods into your daily life, you give your body what it's been waiting for. Real nourishment. A message that says, I believe in you, and I want you to keep going. Stronger and clearer, one meal at a time. It's easy to believe that health is determined by grand gestures, expensive supplements, dramatic diet changes, or grueling new exercise routines. But after a lifetime of caring for older adults across America, I can tell you true transformation happens in the details. The smallest, most consistent habits often bring the greatest returns. Let me ask you, have you ever watched a loved one's health slip away after what seemed like minor changes? Maybe a spouse who lost their energy after giving up home-cooked meals for frozen dinners. or a parent whose memory dulled once they started skipping breakfast. I've seen these stories play out in countless homes from Texas to Maine. The culprit is rarely fatates the subtle shift in what we put on our plates day after day. Many American seniors fall into the trap of thinking that healthy eating is all about what you avoid: less salt, less sugar, fewer calories. But focusing only on subtraction can leave you tired, lonely at the table, and even more prone to illness. What's missing isn't just nutrient-site's pleasure, ritual, and that sense of being cared for, even if only by yourself. One of my favorite case studies is Mr. Jackson, a retired firefighter from Chicago. In his 70s, he started feeling foggy and weak, despite trying every vitamin advertised on television. When we looked at his meals, he was skipping breakfast, relying on low-fat frozen dinners, and drinking endless coffee to stay alert. With just a few changes, adding miso soup and whole grain toast in the morning, a bowl of pumpkin soup, or a piece of grilled mackerel for dinner, his energy and memory started returning within weeks. The change was not magical, it was methodical. His body responded to real food, real nutrients, and the steady rhythm of eating with care. This isn't just one man's story. Clinical studies from Harvard to UCLA confirm that seniors who add back fermented foods, oily fish, seeds, and high-fiber grains enjoy better mood, steadier energy, and lower risk of chronic disease even when they make no other dramatic lifestyle changes. The reason is simple. After 60, your body's sensors are turned up high. It feels every sugar spike, every missed meal, every hit of artificial flavor. But it also responds, sometimes with surprising speed, to positive shifts. Consistency is more powerful than quantity. The ritual of eating sitting down at the same time, savoring each bite, being present sends a message to your whole system that you're safe, valued, and worth the effort. In Japan, elders don't rush meals. They treat food as a daily act of respect, not a chore. I believe American seniors deserve the same dignity. You're not just fueling your body, you're affirming your life, your story, and your future. If you've been overwhelmed by advice, remember, start with just one change. Replace white bread with barley toast. Add a spoonful of black sesame paste to your yogurt. Swap canned soup for homemade miso, or try a few pieces of natto each week. The results may feel slow at first, but they compound like interest in a savings account. A month from now, you may find yourself standing taller, thinking clearer, or sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Above all, don't wait for a crisis. Your body is listening right now, hungry for proof that you still care. By honoring it with small, smart choices meal after meal, you invest in more than health. You invest in freedom, resilience, and the promise of more good days ahead. You might wonder, can simple foods really turn back the clock? Isn't aging a one-way street? In my 70-plus years of working with older adults in the U.S., I've seen over and over that the answer is no. Aging is not an unstoppable decline. It's a negotiation, a conversation between your habits and your genes, your choices and your history. The healing power of food is now backed by science as much as by tradition. Let's take natto as an example. Several major studies, including research published in the Journal of Nutrition, have shown that regular natto eaters have lower rates of osteoporosis and heart disease. The key? Not just its high vitamin K2, but also nattokinase, an enzyme that helps dissolve small blood clots, keeps your circulation strong, and reduces the risk of stroke. My patients who've added natto 3 times a week see not only better lab results, but also greater confidence in their stepless stiffness, fewer aches, more zest for life. Then there's sesame. The lignans and antioxidants in sesame, especially black sesame, protect the brain and joints from age-related decline. Some scientists believe they help neurons talk to each other better, keeping your mind sharp as the years go by. Patients who'd given up hope of overcoming brain fog or creaky knees often find relief in simple, traditional foods, rather than in another pill or supplement. Pumpkin may seem humble, but don't be fooled. Its beta-carotene, magnesium, and zinc work together to strengthen immune defenses and keep your gut lining healthy, a critical shield against infections that can sap your energy and land you in the hospital. I think of Mrs. Rodriguez, a widow in New Mexico, who struggled with chronic cough and poor sleep for years. By adding roasted pumpkin and a handful of pumpkin seeds to her weekly routine, she saw her symptoms gradually melt away, and for the first time in a decade, she enjoyed a winter without getting sick. Mackerel, with its omega-3 and coenzyme Q10, is another standout. While Americans are encouraged to eat more fish, they're rarely told which kinds make the biggest difference. Mackerel is lower in mercury than tuna or swordfish, and richer in those hard-to-get nutrients that restore strength to aging muscles and blood vessels. In a long-term study from Kyoto University, seniors who ate mackerel twice a week reported stronger legs, fewer falls, and less swelling in the ankles and hands. What about fermented foods like umeboshi and miso? Beyond their tangy taste, they nurture the gut, boost your mood, and help regulate blood pressure and blood sugar. Seniors who make these foods a part of their breakfast or dinner routine often describe a sense of coming back to life, not just physically, but emotionally, as if the fog of anxiety and fatigue is lifting at last. Finally, barley. By stabilizing blood sugar and supporting digestive health, barley lowers the risk of those dreaded post-meal crashes and dizzy spells that lead to falls. The fiber in barley also helps maintain a healthy weight, reduces cholesterol, and supports a robust immune system, a triple win for anyone over 60. If all this sounds too good to be true, remember, these aren't quick fixes, but lifelong tools. The science supports what our elders knew all along. Food can be medicine, or it can be poison. The choice is yours. And if you think it's too late to change, let me assure you, your body is always listening, always ready to heal, even after years of neglect. If you're reading this and feeling overwhelmed, take a deep breath. You are not behind, and it is never too late to begin. One of the most important lessons I've learned after decades of guiding older adults is that progress starts with a single step. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to send your body a clear, consistent message. I am ready to support you again. In Japan, there's a saying, "The food you eat today becomes the body you live in tomorrow." This isn't a warning, it's a promise. Every meal is a new opportunity, not a reminder of what you missed yesterday, but a celebration of what's still possible. Your body, even now, is listening. Every cell responds to encouragement, not just punishment. Start small. Add one healing food, a spoonful of natto, a handful of pumpkin seeds, a serving of barleyach a week. Notice how you feel. If it helps, keep a simple journal. Energy, mood, sleep, pain. You might be surprised by the patterns that emerge. Invite a friend or family member to join you. Shared meals have a power that goes beyond nutrition. They heal loneliness, rebuild trust, and spark hope. Remember, too, that food is only part of the equation. Sleep, movement, social connection, and purpose matter just as much. When you combine smart eating with daily walks, good sleep hygiene, and moments of laughter or prayer, you build a foundation that can support you for years to come. If you find yourself struggling or doubting, reach out. Ask your doctor, a nutritionist, or a trusted friend for support. Join a community group or online forum for older adults who are also seeking better health. The journey is easier when you're not alone. Above all, choose compassion over criticism. Celebrate small wins: an extra lap around the block, a restful night, a meal made from scratch. Aging is not about chasing lost youth. It's about choosing strength, wisdom, and connection day after day. If this message resonates with you, consider sharing it with a friend or loved one. Sometimes, the right food is also the right reminder that you still matter, and that your best days might be ahead, not behind. Take that first step on meal, one moment, one day at a time. And if you found value in these words, please consider subscribing, sharing, or leaving a comment. Let's build a community where no one has to face aging alone, where every meal is an act of hope, and every story is a new beginning.